I think we're ready. Shall we do this?
Yes, I'll demute. All right, let's get started. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Eric Potter here with Margaret Burkle of Sage and Summit Consulting. We're very excited to have you join us for today's webinar on an introduction to leading or coaching as a leadership style and how it can improve, transform your leadership experience and outcomes. A couple of housekeeping items. We will be recording the webinar today. If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A and we'll leave some time at the end, answer as many as we can. If you do have any audio or video issues, maybe drop me a note in the chat and I'll do what I can to fix them up. Your speaker today is Margaret Burkle. She's the founder of Sage and Summit Consulting. You've seen her bio in the invite, so I'm not going to reread that for you, but I will let you know that Margaret is absolutely passionate about leadership, and she's built her expertise on the subject through studying, researching, leading, teaching, and coaching on the subject at the highest levels for the past 25 years. Margaret, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Eric. Great. So we're going to hop into a screen share here. And I did make a deep promise to my team that it will not be death by PowerPoint for anybody today. Let me just rearrange my screen here. Oops, no. Well, there we go. Perfect. Great. So thank you very much for joining me for a brief introduction to a coaching style of leadership. You all responded and decided to join me because I promised you, let me just get the slides to work with me, more time and less frustration. It's a lofty promise. I know that. So just quickly, so what is the one thing in every business organization that can bring even the most confident, rock solid leaders to tears? What is the one thing that can shake everybody's confidence, create doubt, frustration, and angst at work? Throw me some answers there on the Q&A. Eric, if you can, I can't see the Q&A once I've shared the screen, so if you find anything, yeah, pop some answers in there. What's the stuff that makes you cry at work?
We're waiting for some bold souls to
admit that they cry at work.
Yeah. No one's ever cried at work.
Nobody's ever cried at work. No, we're all tough leaders.
Yeah, right.
We have
tough leaders
with us today. No tears.
No tears.
No tears. Oh my goodness. Well, from
experience.
Yeah, 2,000 plus hours of coaching, the answer is inevitably people. People are the source of, they consume a lot of time. They're a source of frustration. They're a source of joy. They're a source of doubt. They give you angst. And yeah, there's a super cheesy saying. It's like business is really easy. It is formulaic. It is easy. And then you add people to it. And it's true because people are complicated and unpredictable at best. And yeah, I am not joking about the tears part. So let me take you back to the beginning, my fascination about leadership and great leadership. Great leadership is so immensely powerful. It infuses people with energy and inspiration and growth and innovation. And teams that are working with great leaders are just generally feels like I want to be here and I want to give my best. I am here to achieve. This is a good thing. So as much as good and great leadership have a positive multiplier effect, bad leadership has the same. It does just the opposite. In my career, 30 plus years, I started early. I've worked with and for many leaders, probably more than 100 in various settings. And out of the 100 plus leaders, I can with all honesty say I've worked with one singular great leader. A gentleman called Jaap Mol from Norwich Life in Johannesburg many years ago. He just made such an incredible impression on me. Long story, and I'll tell you the story when we have more time. All my clients are on a journey to becoming great leaders, and they understand that it is a lifelong journey of self-development and self-management. Without having yourself under control, well managed, we are in a sad place to start leadership in any sphere. So leaders make the switch towards good and great leadership when they lose the ego and they develop acute levels of self-awareness and become very good at dealing with people. It's all about people and relationships. So my practice and my purpose is to help leaders in that journey and develop tools and tactics to improve their people skills. And in the end, less tears, more joy, less frustration, more results. One of these great tools, the one I'm sharing with you today, or brief introduction, is a coaching style of leadership. So many of us are familiar with the traditional hierarchical leadership pattern. It is a tool or a framework that worked exceptionally well in the first industrial era, where people were in charge of doing rote, robotic, mechanical functions, and it was okay to tell them exactly what to do and how to do it. Now, fast forward 100 plus years later, this level of transactional management does not work. The steep tiers of hierarchy, bosses, and the bosses, with it all leading up to the great boss, is simply inefficient. Number one reason is things happen fast, change happens fast, and really the new way of work is decision-making, and innovation has to be at the front line because that is where the action is. So our people have to be empowered. They have to be able to have the tools and the capacity to deliver decisions, innovations, and change on the go. That is a tough place for a lot of people whose only leadership tool is being the transactional boss. There's a different style. There are not a number of different styles. At the Institute of Coaching, in affiliation with McLean Medical School at Harvard, we are pursuing extensive research in more humanistic leadership styles that are designed to be effective in a highly volatile, ever-changing global world. These are leadership styles that empower people, that embraces change, and helps leaders to be able to lead from the side or from the bottom in a very, very changeable world. Coaching style of leadership is one of my favorites. So please allow me to share a few stories of people that have embraced it. I will tell you about Sarah and Jim. I started coaching Sarah about 4 years ago. She was freshly promoted from an analyst position to a director position. A few months into the new journey, she became disillusioned and very stressed. I have no time to do my work. I have a constant stream of interruptions and a never-ending barrage of questions and problems thrown my way. I believe in an open door policy, but this is ridiculous. I have to take work at home and work over weekends. My poor family is suffering. She felt exhausted and defeated most of the time and was nervous to come across as too bossy or aloof. There was also Jim, getting ready to step into the role as CEO of a family business. He had a similar problem. He started coaching to step out of the weeds. And we did a time and motion study of what is happening in these days and found that more than 75% was spent solving operational problems. You know, that revolving door of people that come in. It's like, Jim, how do I do this? Jim, when should I do that? and 25% was spent on doing his own work. So let's jump back to a coaching style of leadership. What are the benefits here? First and foremost, it builds trust between the leader and the team. It's a coaching relationship. There's a sense of partnership and collaboration. The leader is not simply issuing directives, do this, do that, but rather working with the team, working with your individuals to achieve a common goal. The level of collaboration fosters trust. The employees feel more invested in the success of the project and the organization as a whole. Hence, increased engagement. Additionally, the coaching leadership style encourages growth and development of these employees, and I'll tell you how. When employees feel supported and encouraged to take risks, they're more likely to stretch themselves and take on new challenges. The coaching leadership can create positive work environment. Boy, do we ever need positive stuff in our world right now. And if work is positive, imagine. When team members feel empowered and supported, they're more likely to be engaged and motivated. So the coaching style also has benefits for the leader. In adopting this approach, you're more likely to see the team as a group of individuals with unique strengths and abilities. This mindset can help the leader identify the potential that they have otherwise possibly overlooked. Plus, it could be a very fulfilling experience when you adopt a coaching mindset in your leadership practice. Watching people grow and develop around you is incredibly rewarding. So, coaching leadership style delivers empowered teams, more time, and less frustration. The added benefits, loving to see people grow and develop, seeing great results, and even having fun at work. So how can you adopt this leadership approach? We've developed a course that expands your insights in 3 growth areas. First of all, the coaching mindset. The coaching mindset is closely attached to your leadership identity or your unique leadership DNA. Emotional intelligence. It is a core skill, probably one of the most important skills in leadership and the execution of leadership today. And then, of course, coaching skills. An in-depth and very, very practical tour of coaching skills. How does it work? How do the frameworks work? Hundreds and hundreds of pages of really good coaching questions to get the best out of your team. But today, I'm going to leave you with 3 practical tools. Hoping that this would inspire you to join us in our course. The first step is to develop a coaching mindset. And here it is, the biggest hurdle is to bury the advice monster. We all have an advice monster in us. And this is the toughest one to overcome. I've been coaching for more than 2,000 hours. And if you ask me a question, I have to bite 100 holes in my tongue not to give you the answer. But for goodness sake, after 30 years in the industry, I know stuff and I'd love to tell you all the stuff I know. But that is not coaching. That is mentoring or just giving advice. Jumping to the answer presumes that you really truly understand the question on the first iteration. And Einstein said, if he has a problem to solve, he'll spend 55 minutes. If he has an hour to solve a problem, he'll spend 55 minutes really digging into what the problem is. Because if you truly understand the problem, the answer is easy. And the first iteration of a question is seldom clearly understood. So to give advice creates dependence and will guarantee that that revolving door will never, ever end. No one will ever be independent and you'll be giving answers forever. So the question popping up right now is normally, but I'm the boss, I'm supposed to have all the answers. And yeah, that might have been true 100, 120 years ago. But in today's VUCA world, it definitely isn't. You don't have all the answers. So once we've got the advice monster under control, the next step is to prioritize dialogue. Please note, this is not conversation, it's not monologue, it's dialogue, real dialogue. The word dialogue comes from Greek word di and logos, which means the flow of meaning through people. And that is a coaching conversation or a coaching dialogue. It's about thinking together, open to possibilities and letting go of the quest for certainty and the need to be right. The coaching dialogue is filled with real, curious, and open-ended questions, such as, what is going well with you at the moment? What would you like to improve in the near future? We have 45 minutes in our one-to-one time today. What is top of mind for you? Tell me more. What else? Really cool coaching questions. Get people to talk. In our course, we focus on a lot of practical examples of when this approach is really a good approach, such as growth and development, growth and innovation, behavioral improvement, general improvement, performance management. And we have strong examples of conversations in each one of these categories for our participants. So the third tool here, it's bury the advice monster. Get into a coaching mindset. Foster a dialogue. And the third one is close the loop with accountability. Delegation 101. And in the course, we will give you delegation frameworks to help you in this aspect. It's probably one of the most difficult things of being a leader is to eloquently pass tasks on and instructions on to the people around you. Closing the loop here, you had a great dialogue with your employee. The employee came up with the action plan and the solution, and now you're encouraging them to execute. So we follow up and maintain open to further support and dialogue during the process. So I hope these 3 steps are going to get you started in the journey, but I don't want you to stop here. This is such an important leadership tool. Our course is open for registration right now. We're starting on the 29th of March. This is a great investment in your leadership capacity and that of your team members. It is applicable to everybody from junior leadership to CEO level. It has a small cohort, maximum 20, 25 people, because of the practicality of the learning that we are going to be doing. There's going to be lots of teamwork, lots of exercises, lots of breakouts, building a great community and learning how to coach on the fly. So what happened with Sarah and Jim? Let me close with that. In a recent conversation with Jim, he gave an update on some organizational shifts he orchestrated. It was so great to hear him say that Trish, Colin, and Joe developed a new structure for the production division, and their solution was great and will solve many bottlenecks. Jim was not part of that development. They brought the final product to him. He's almost a little bit displaced not being in the weeds, but ever so grateful that he can look up and look into the distant future where the future CEO should be focused. And Sarah, most impressive moment was a few months ago when she explained a situation of unbelievable change. Everything was just happening fast. There were people being shifted around. There were lots of key team members, tight project deadlines, and things just flowing into their department at a rate of knots you can't believe. And once she finished explaining all this to me, I was like, oh my goodness, Sarah, how are you doing? And she smiled triumphantly. It's like, I'm loving it. I'm in a position to navigate this like a pro, and it's really cool. So the stress didn't get to her. Her team knows where they are. They're empowered and they can execute and change at the front line. And she coaches them to greatness. That's how it works. So, final thoughts. A coaching leadership style can benefit both the leader and the team. Leadership is such a far-reaching, privileged position. It is an impactful role that could reap exponential benefits to you, the leader, and those around you. By prioritizing true dialogue, growth, and collaboration, leaders can create a positive work environment where individuals feel empowered to take risks and reach their full potential. So I challenge each and every one of you to invest in your learning and your journey as a leader. Learn a new practice. Come join us in a coaching style of leadership starting on the 29th of March in person in Edmonton. The bonus learning is that it is integrated in our coaching style of leadership program, is that you will become grounded in your unique, authentic leadership DNA. It will help you to be a stronger coach and also help curb the advice monster. You will know why and how you lead and be able to explain to people. You will also be improving your emotional intelligence, and with that, resilience and a capacity to work with people from a position of compassion and empathy. And then, of course, 5 strong coaching conversation frameworks to practice and make your own. So we're going to open up for questions. Fire away your questions in the Q&A, anything that you want. There, after this webinar, there's a link to my Calendly. If you want to pop in there, ask more questions and get to find out whether you are the right leader that should be learning a coaching style of leadership and how it would benefit you. I hope to meet all of you soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Margaret. Just taking a peek at taking a look at the Q&A. One question in there now. I don't know if I'll have time for this stuff because it's so time consuming to coach people. Is there a fast way to do this?
Okay, I'm going to give you the short answer. Coaching people does take time in the beginning. It's like any level of empowerment will take a little bit of time. However, it's an investment in time to save you a lot of time in the end. If you listen to the stories of both Jim and Sarah, they asked me those questions. They were concerned that it was going to take a lot of their time. And it took time in the beginning. But working with an empowered team that can make decisions, strong innovations, and strong creativity at the front end saves you a lot of time in the end.
It's a bit of the flywheel thing, I guess. You build up over time and then it becomes a little more self-sustaining.
Yeah.
Almost cultural, I guess, ideally. All right. Just quick logistics on the course starts on the 29th. Provide more info on location, time frame, etc.
I can see the question actually, Nicole. Yeah. The course is offered in pieces over 9 half-day sessions over 9 months. That is our preferred teaching style. It gives everybody time to take home what they've learned, practice it, and come back, and then we regroup and work through, iron out some wrinkles, and then build on that skill set again. We've secured a beautiful boardroom at King's University, which is very accessible and free parking. Parking's a big thing. My office is in the city.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to have more conversation. Yeah, please drop in, schedule a time, and I will give you the full download on the program.
Other questions here, Marjorie? I have a question about my personality, I guess. Do I need to become a totally different person to be a coaching leader?
Not at all. No, it's a tool. It's a skill set. I've had this question before. I was like, oh, so now I've learned how to be a coaching leader. And when do I start? And do I just step into becoming this coaching person the next day when I arrive at work? It's a tool. Number one, you're going to get grounded in your unique leadership DNA. And that's important, to always be authentically you. And in the course, we have a look at an infinity circle where you have a number of leadership tools. You're going to be a pragmatic leader. You're going to be a transactional leader sometimes. You're going to be a mentor sometimes. And sometimes you're going to be a coach. And if the building's on fire, you can be a dictator too. It's like, get out.
Great. One more. I've been leading my top-down style all along. How would I adopt this? All at once or gradually?
Gradually. One coaching conversation at a time.
Thanks. And another, how will we measure success in the course?
Success will be when you feel a shift in your leadership practice, you start building more capacity in your team, and you find more time in your calendar, less revolving door time and more meaningful conversation time. It will actually eventually feel more like you're achieving stuff at the end of the week. It's not, I've been so busy and I didn't achieve anything. It will be more like, wow, I met with everybody, I connected with my team, and everything's off my to-do list.
Yes, sounds ideal.
It does. Okay, well, if we get 80% there, it's a win too.
Yeah. All right, I think we're slowing down on the questions. For everyone, I've popped in the chat a link, Calendly link. If you want to follow up, you have questions or want to have a conversation, click on that. You can have a chat with Margaret at your convenience. We'd love to hear from you. And you can reach out as well through LinkedIn, website, or if you have our emails, phone call. It all works. We'd love to chat with you. And yeah, we look forward to that. And
otherwise, register for the course and we'll see you there.
Yes, that's great. Thanks so much and have a great evening, everyone.
Okay.